This story is brought to you by the Great Northern Theater Company. The Great Northern Theater Company proudly presents 42nd Street. Come hear the lullaby of Broadway on 42nd Street. For more information about shows and times, visit the Great Northern Theater Company's website at www.gnTC1.com. Again, that's www.gnTC1.com. Enjoy the show.
Hello, my name is Larry Lahr. I'm City Administrator in Cold Spring. And this week on Digilog we're talking a bit about the Firefest concert, which is part of Hometown Pride Festival coming up at the end of July. And just want to point out a couple things related to Firefest. First of all, in terms of an announcement, there was a change in the acts that are performing at that event this year. We have Billy Currington and Heidi Newfield performing instead of Chris Cagle, who was put on voice rest by his doctor. And so that's a change that we're trying to work through with folks right now. Doesn't seem to have affected ticket sales. In fact, there seems to be a lot of interest still. And so if you have already purchased tickets, those tickets are still good. There aren't refunds, unfortunately. But if there's any questions, you can call City Hall and we'll put you in touch with the folks at the fire department that could get you that information. And in 2009, the event will look much like it did, I think, in 2008. We are holding it at the distribution center for the Cold Spring Brewing Company again. They have expanded the hours on both ends a bit. They're opening the gates a bit earlier and keeping them open a bit later. But other than that, the event will largely hopefully look much like it has in the past because in our opinion it has gone well. And for the second year in a row, that event is a fundraiser for the Cold Spring Fire Department, and it is held by that Fire Department Relief Association. And so in addition to wanting to go out and get the community to hear good music, we're also hoping you go out and support this event because of the fact that it does translate into the ability for the fire department to purchase the equipment needed for the operation of our fire and rescue. And with regard to the use of the funds that are hoped to be raised in this year's event, nothing specific is in mind at this point, but there are always capital expenditures that are planned. In fact, typically the fire department has a written document proposing what will be on the horizon for the next 5 to 6 years. And we know, for instance, that we are in need of a new pumper in the near future. The second pumper the fire department has is in need of updating, and I think there's a fair chance ultimately some of these monies would go to fund the purchase of that fire engine or pumper truck. Just want to close by saying that Firefest is Saturday, July 25th. As I understand it, at least, the gates will open at 3:30. They'll stop serving at 12 and want to get the entire facility shut down no later than 12:30 if possible. And so please do go out, get your tickets, support your local fire department.
Hi, this is Dan Coughlin, City Administrator for the City of Richmond with the Richmond Update. Just like to point out that if you've driven through the town recently, we do have some seasonal road construction going on. Central Avenue from basically Highway 23 up to 1st Street Southeast will be under construction for probably the next month or so. We will have it available and open to access during River Lake days, and most of the major construction will be done by then, but probably it'll just be a gravel road for now. We've had to update all of the underground utilities in that area. A lot of utilities had failed, undersized, so that fire hydrants didn't have enough pressure for the fire department to be able to use them and things like that. So for safety reasons and for utility reasons, we needed to update those things. So we've got that project going on. We're also going to be doing a project south of Highway 23 in what we call the south side area of Richmond, along the lake on Horseshoe Lake. We're going to be running water and sewer services, and then updating their streets down there as well later this summer. So just heads up to be a little more mindful and careful as you're driving through the area. And then parents, please try and do your best to discourage the kids from exploring in the construction site areas. We do everything we can to keep those sites safe, but your help will ensure that nobody gets hurt in this process. Also, we've got River Lake Days coming up. Certainly stop by some of our local merchants. There's a whole list of activities and plans on there, and a brochure. Any one of our local merchants and the City Hall has copies of the plans for the festivities. So feel free to stop by some of our local merchants. Say hi to them and ask for a copy of the River Lake Days stuff, and then come on in during River Lake Days and stay a while. We'd love to have you. So that's it for the Richmond update for this time. Stay tuned for more updates soon.